Hello and welcome everybody to Impromptu Fiction with Lane and Friends, your new favorite improvisational fiction podcast. My name's Lane, and we'll be getting to our friend in just a moment, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. Do you like donuts? Do you like mufflers? Are you currently wanted in 48 states because a fucking snitch connected you to the mafia? If you answered yes to any or all these questions, or you just need to get rid of a body, Archibald Dunlap's Donuts and Muffler Shop might be the place for you. At Archibald Dunlap's Donuts and Mufflers, you have a wide selection of over 3 types of donuts, mufflers, and things that kind of look like mufflers, and also full access to our deep fryers. We don't care what you do with them, all we ask is that you leave us a good review on Yelp. If you don't, you may receive a special greeting from Big Bubba Tucson, the Clown Strangler. That's Archibald Dunlap's Donuts and Mufflers. Eat some dough while killing those who owe you dough. Now that we have that out of the way, allow me to briefly explain the rules of this show. And by rules, I mean the not really followed rules of this show because who cares? Fuck it. This is the last episode of Impromptu Fiction. But no, the rules are simple, and they go as followed. I give my guest for the week a randomly selected writing prompt that I have created for them. If I want to throw a real curveball towards them, I will force them to write the story in a particular style. Once we both have our stories written, we come together and we read them to each other out loud for the first time. And technically, you're not allowed to rewrite or fix anything, but at this point we've all done a little bit of fixing, so we'll just say that it's mostly the rough draft. And speaking of guests, I have a very good friend of mine on the air tonight. Everybody, give a round of applause, or just scream into your microphones, for James!
Hello.
You're the second person in a week that
that gave themselves applause.
That gave themselves applause.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What can you do? I mean, if you're a legend in your own mind, it's the type of thing you do. I actually just do it every day when I wake up in the morning and I stare in the mirror and I go.
You know, that might actually be a really good confidence booster, or a quick and easy way for someone to figure out that you are insane and need to go to an asylum.
Yeah, my wife protects me from all that stuff, so she tells me she tells me I'm her sweet little genius.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, I wish it were true. I wish I was telling you the truth, but
yeah, I wish it were true too. Well, James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm mostly known as a voice actor on Greater Boston, and at this point, maybe some people have heard me on a few other podcasts, but I have my own podcast coming out soon called What's the Frequency, and it'll be a nice little mind melter of a show. It's meant to be a little psychedelic and trippy, and certainly, it's supposed to be awesome, Lane, and that's why I invited you to be on it. So, yeah. Oh
yes, because I only go on to high quality podcasts, much like my own.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I would say that we're just slightly above your own, but let's not argue about that.
Okay, all right. James.
No, all right, no. You know what it is. I kid because I love, and I'm very jealous about your skills. I am. I think you're a brilliant writer, and I think it's insane that you're asking me to write alongside of you today. So. I'm just a little nervous. I didn't mean to knock you down a peg. Can you just
say that a little bit slower? I need to finish something over here. Just tell me how great I am again. I am again. Okay.
No, I will. I can actually go on for a while about how great Lane is. I think Lane is a genius. Actually, from the moment I heard Sable podcast, I knew that Lane had it. And what is it?
Oh, okay. Ooh,
it's it.
Ooh. I need a towel. Well, speaking of big cocks, what was
yes.
that?
By the way, I have to say, you will take sponsors from anybody, huh? Those guys are... Your sponsorship is...
Hey, you know what? I need the money, so I'll take it from anybody.
Look, I'm just saying that out loud so that they might come my way as well. So I have no problem with their business, really. I think it's a useful service.
No, it's very good. They the Archibalds have treated me well through the 5 episodes of this show that I've done.
Oh, that's good.
That's yeah. the thugs that come to the door every now and then are a little concerning, but what can you do? That's just the price of being a rich podcaster like myself.
Oh, of course. And you probably don't want to say thugs, maybe just businessmen.
Businessmen, yes. Very scary, large, life-threatening businessmen.
Right, with briefcases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So I do believe the prompt for us was someone stole our donut and we have to get it back. And the culprit was our grandmother.
Yes. Oh, that dirty woman.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad she's dead.
Yeah, well, I was really happy when my grandmother died. We just, you know what? I don't think we should get into it, actually, because I have a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's just not going to go over well.
The sad thing is I can't tell if you're being real or doing a bit, but either way, I don't want to push any further. I'm really scared.
Yeah, you don't want, either way, you're right. You don't want me to go there. Because, if it was real, then, yeah, it's going to be sad. And if it's not real, then people will hate us.
Then I'm going to get a bunch of hate mail saying, why I just came to this show to laugh and hear about the dick jokes and the orgasm jokes. I didn't come here to hear about family problems. Exactly.
And I just don't want to find out, I don't know, I've ruined my career before it started, really. So, maybe in private, I'll tell you all the sick jokes that run through my head. Like in this story, there's plenty of stuff in here that I'm going to regret.
Oh, that's half the fun, though. And by the way, thank you for giving me the slogan that I'm going to put on my business cards from now on. Lane Lloyd, I screwed up my career before it began.
There you go. Killed it before it started.
Didn't even exist.
That's right. You're going to have to put a lot of disclaimers on your, trigger warnings and things like that. You do that, right? You do the whole trigger warning thing? Or
on Sable, yes. On here, I haven't. I guess I shouldn't say that I haven't had anything that would be triggering, because that would be insinuating that I know every trigger, but which I don't.
You're going to need it for this episode.
I know for my story at least, I'm probably going to need it.
Oh, you're definitely going to need it for mine. So, you might as well just really start thinking about what you're going to write.
Yeah, so. I think for this upcoming Sable, I usually just have a fair warning before every episode that's like, hey, there's going to be violence or gore and things like that. This episode coming up, I'm going to have to make a special recording for, because it is. Don't write a horror story while depressed, folks, because it never turns out well for anybody.
Yeah, I was certainly in a mood the day I wrote this short essay type, creative essay.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
right.
I was.
I forgot we had to write the stories as a shitty 10th grade essay.
Yes. So this is a whatever I imagined a shitty 10th grade essay. I was going to write it like I was challenged to come up with good sentences or very good sentences, and I don't know. I went off and did my own thing. I just stopped at some point. I'm just going to do my thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had some challenges of my own. For one, I was really trying to get in character, so I tried looking for old essays that I wrote for high school, and I just realized something that I didn't realize before, James, and it kind of shocked me.
What was that?
I've just always been a good writer. I don't know what a bad essay looks like.
No, I believe you, actually. I really do. This is none of, when I compliment you, buddy, it's never lip service. It is pure and utter, genuine.
All right,
it's genuine.
Let me pull my pants down again. All right.
Oh man, you're gonna get chapped. I hope you have.
I'm gonna get chapped.
See, yeah, stuff like this that I think people are going to hate me eventually. They're just going to be like, why does that guy keep talking?
Oh, James, everyone hates you already. And me.
Oh, yay! Thank you for feeding into all my fears.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you that your fears are justified, and so are mine.
You scare me on Sable Podcast, and you're scaring me now. That's wonderful.
I'm the person that sits next to you right before you go on an airplane ride and you're very nervous. And I go, well, you know what? There have been an increasingly amount of faulty flights that have been going on where just everybody dies and everything goes up in flames and there's no remains. Like, no one will ever find you.
Well, I was just thinking, like, you're the guy in the plane that you sit down and the guy's like, oh, thank God it's this guy. He seems all right. And then you turn to, like, right before they take off and be like, hey, buddy. Yeah, what's up? I smuggled in some stuff in my ass. Do you want any? And then you go like, no! And then you're stuck on the plane ride the whole time with that guy.
See, I'm gonna give you and everybody at home a brief warning. If you ever see me on a plane, I am definitely not the person who you look at and go, he looks like he's doing okay. He looks like he has all his shit together and isn't in fact shitting his pants in terror.
Oh yeah, I don't think you've done really plane rides before, right?
I've done like 3 plane rides in my life, and ironically they've all been very long flights. I don't think I've had a short flight in my entire life.
And do you ever forget that you're on the flight at some point where you're just like, all right, I can relax, or are you just really like white knuckling it the whole way?
It's weird because I notice that when it is dark outside, I kind of forget that I'm on a plane. It's when it's broad daylight and I can look out and I can go, oh hey,
right.
I am higher than we humans were supposed to ever be.
You're like Icarus.
I'm also very bad with turbulence, like any amount. And I know in my the logical side of my brain is saying, well, you're going to be in the air. Of course you're going to hit turbulence.
Right.
It's rarer when you don't hit turbulence, but every time I feel the plane shift, I look at the person next to me and I go, okay, this is it.
You give them the look and the nod. You're just like, it's going to happen, buddy.
My first plane ride, we hit such bad turbulence that the flight attendants had taken their seats and were strapping in, and I was just like, fucking shit, of course my first flight is going to be the one that goes down.
Well, you know what, though? Let me help you out here, though, is because you don't have a whole lot of experience. I've seen that happen a lot. I've traveled, I've done a lot of flights and stuff like that, so I think what you need to know is that when you see that, it's really not uncommon.
That's what I was hearing, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't, I'm not lying to you. And you know what, though? When I see you at PodCon, I'll hook you up with a little bit of calming pill or something like that. So when your flight back, you can chill.
Oh, thank goodness! I need those. I need
those
so bad.
I'll be your pusher, man.
Hell yeah! Are we? Wait, are we actually talking about drugs on this podcast right now?
Nope.
Oh,
nope. I was talking about medicine.
Folks, a chill pill is a metaphor for a slap on the back and a thumbs up and a "you got this, man."
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying where the thumbs up goes, but it's up.
I'm going to tell you where the thumb goes, but right after we read our stories.
Okay. You got to go first, though. I think, right?
I do have to go first. And
all right. So can I can heckle you like one of the old men from the Muppets, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can tell me that I'm a horrible human being. You can basically say anything that my mom tells me. So
yes. Oh, Mom,
if you're listening, that was a joke. That's what we call in the comedy business a brouhaha.
Mom, if you're listening, that was a cry for help.
That was a oh, Jesus.
Well, at least for me, that's what it would be. But
and
I would tell you
once again, we're getting too real.
I would tell you about my mom, but that's its whole other thing.
Jeez.
You know what? I'll tell you. What? I'll explain my whole family stuff. Like when we're at PodCon and it's like 3 a.m. and we don't want to go to sleep, but we have the lights on, but we have the covers over our heads.
Yeah.
And we're all having like a sleepover.
Yeah, and we're all telling great stories, and then you're just like, "Oh, hey, let me tell you about the time I was abandoned at a KFC in a truck stop."
Yeah. Who told you that story?
No comment. Let's get to the stories.
Okay.
All right, so I actually gave this a title, and I'm not sure why I titled this the way I did, but my story is apparently titled My Fight for Survival.
I like it already. And it's funny, right?
Uh-oh. Funny to some people.
Oh, okay. I'll try not to laugh.
First sentence, my dog died. Nope. No. All right, well, I have to get into character first. So,
all right.
As you know, James, I'm a world-renowned actor with my voice.
Yes.
So.
Oh no, I know. I've heard your performances. They're wonderful.
Okay, so, okay, gotta get into my proper headspace. Hello, James.
Oh yes, hello.
Hi, my name's Martin.
Oh, hi, Martin. How are you?
I'm not doing too good, but you'll know why when I start reading my story.
Oh.
Or
okay.
by essay, sorry. My essay. It's totally real. I'm 47.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm
Martin.
I'm a little bit of a jokester. I'm sorry.
You are. You're terrible.
Oh, I'm 17, though. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna, I'm gonna read my essay if that's okay with you.
Yeah. I would love to hear your essay. Actually, I've come a long way to hear it. Actually.
Oh, well, thank you. That's actually really flattering. So, I'll just get going. Webster defines tragedy as something bad happening that makes us all feel real sad. And I didn't really know what that felt like. I didn't think I would ever experience something truly tragic. How foolish I was. Little did I know that this summer I would surely face something tragic. Allow me to recount my tale of woe. Allow me to start at the beginning. 3 weeks ago, my mother made her special batch of homemade donuts. Oh, I love those little pillowy mounds of goodness. Anytime my mom makes these donuts, the world just seems like a better, less life-threatening place. Sure, there's a serial killer running around our town, and sure, there's an old man who's been running people over with his sedan, and sure, my father is a clown arsonist, but when these donuts come out of the oven, none of that matters. I was in a total peace and harmony with the world. All was good in my books. So anyway, there I was, staring at what had to be the most beautiful batch of donuts I have ever seen. My mouth was watering. They were here. They were finally here. The usual ritual began in earnest. My father grabbed the first donut, my sister the second, my older brother got the third, and my mother the fourth. There was one donut left, one precious ring of pastry goodness. I stared at the donut for what seemed like minutes. The angels sang, doves cried. I was just a few measly steps away. Then my phone began to buzz violently in my pocket. It was going off non-stop. I had to stop my steps and see what was going on. It was Jeremy Winters telling me about his new janitorial action cards. He said he finally nabbed a holographic Joey Plunger card. Those are like hella rare. There's only 5 in the world. I almost wanted to give up writing when I wrote hella rare, and
yeah, it's rough, but it's the character, really, so it's not your fault.
It is.
It's really not your fault. And by the way, is that a clown arsonist? Does he dress up as a clown and then set fires, or does he set fire to clowns?
You know what? He's a very skilled person. He can do both.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, varied interests. Okay.
Little known fact, I'm spoiling who the villain for Sable Season 5 is.
I'm already intrigued.
All right, let me get Martin back in here.
Sorry. Let me get back to my essay before I'm rudely interrupted again. Jeesh.
That was Lane. That was all Lane, Martin. I'm very sorry.
I know. He's a real prick. So... So I was talking about the Joey Plunger card. There's only 5 in the world. They are also super overpowered. I mean, it has an attack of 20 and a defense of 40. That's insane. It completely destroys the Archibald defense maneuver that clearly states, excuse me? I was rambling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll get back on track. So, where was I? Oh, yes. Jeremy told me all about his card, and once he hung up, I was more than ready to get back to my donut. I spun to face the kitchen again, and my heart sank into my stomach. There was my family, enjoying their donuts, but the one left for me was nowhere to be found. I wanted to scream and cry. The injustice, the inhumanity of it all. This wasn't right, not by a long shot. This was truly tragic. See what I did there? My R's, my R's, I'm sorry, I can't read my own typing, excuse me. My eyes darted this way and that, trying to find the culprit. Oh, I was convinced my dog was the villain in this horrendous play, but when I looked towards him, there was no treachery in his eyes. He was innocent. But who was it then? At that very moment, I spotted our monster, our star villain. She was chomping happily on my donut, slurping down the pillowy goodness like she was proud of her heinous crime. It was my grandmother, my sweet, caring grandmother, taking what was rightfully mine. Grandma! I found myself screaming, my face red with rage. Grandma! That's my donut! Shup, you little bitch! She cackled in kind, taking 2 more bites. There was still half a donut left. I still had a chance. She noticed my glance and she snickered. You better respect your elders, sonny, or I'll fuck you up. I didn't think. I didn't breathe. I yelled. I was running as fast as my favorite superhero, moderately fast guy, and my target was right in front of me. Oh, my grandmother chuckled, putting the half donut down. That's how you want to do this? I was now on the table, dashing towards my foe, my parents getting out of the way. My siblings pulled out their phones, recording the whole thing, but I didn't care. I needed to do this.
Careful, Martin!
I know, just wait, it gets really good.
I'm assuming you survived.
No spoiler alerts. Jon Snow is the king of, the kingdoms, by the way. Spoiler.
All of them?
All of them. He won.
He did it.
He won the Game of Thrones. Congratulations, Jon Snow.
He did it so emo, too.
He did. He was like, man, just give me the throne. I hate myself. And they were like, well, they were just like, well, fuck. We don't want to go up against this kid. We don't want to make him feel bad.
I'm trying not to be an enabler here. Keep going, Martin. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. My hands reached out for the donut. My grandmother was already upon me, gripping my small hands in her surprisingly strong clutch. That the best you got? I didn't have time to respond before she lifted me in the air and spun me about, my head beginning to swirl. Her hands released me and I went flying, my back crashing against the fridge. Oh, yeah, I had a couple of broken bones already. My body slid to the floor, and it took all my strength to get back up. Thwack! A kitchen knife dug deep into the kitchen door. The fridge door, not the kitchen door. That doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, the knife dug deep just above my head. Before I could take another breath, another massive blade stabbed into the door just inches beside the first. I was sweating bullets, but I still knew what I needed to do. I'm getting that donut, Grandma, I bellowed, trying to stand back up. I could feel the bones splintering in my chest. You're more than welcome to try, you little cock. My grandma purred. My grandma has a very filthy mouth, by the way.
Well, what does she know about your cock? That's a mean thing to say.
I think that was just an insult in general, because I'm very small. I'm about 4 inches.
All right. Well, you know what? Look, you got something there to work with.
And, no, I meant that I'm 4 inches. Like,
oh shit! I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So proportionately, your penis is okay.
Well,
I got it.
I mean, I don't want to talk about that. There's people listening to this.
There are.
One.
Yeah, well, me.
That's the dumb shit that edits it.
I'm so sorry. Martin, I did it again. I'm a terrible guest. I really am. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're not the worst.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Who's the worst? Was it Pacific?
No, Lane.
Oh, Lane. Okay.
Lane's the worst guest of them all. I hate him.
Oh, because I would have guessed Pacific, but whatever.
Well, he is okay. I mean, his story wasn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, if you like adorable people, I guess Pacific's your person, but whatever.
I don't.
I mean, he's just too likable, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Go on, Martin. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So anyway, my grandma called me a little cock. She gripped another blade in her hands. Come at me again, bitch. Just try and take me down. Showing no fear, I took 3 steps forward, hands clenched in fists. I wasn't going to back down. I would not show fear. This was my day of triumph. Herk! A blade went right through my neck, the hilt pressing hard against my skin. I looked down at the weapon that caused my death. I couldn't breathe anymore. My eyes rolled back into my skull. Within moments, I was down on the ground, absolutely dead. And here,
I'm really sorry.
And here comes an M. Night Shyamalan style twist. I hope your butts are ready. I don't have a good response.
They're ready.
I didn't really have an ending to that quip, but just make sure your butts are ready for something.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. It's a happening. Will happen. Speaking of M. Night Shyamalan.
What? No.
What? Huh? What?
I'm Mark Wahlberg. What?
What? Oh, that movie.
Oh, that movie. It's trash.
Yeah, it was really awful.
So,
but this isn't a movie show.
It isn't a movie show, not yet anyway. The classroom was dead silent, the teacher's mouth hanging wide open. Martin stood in front of everyone with the widest grin on his face, hands pleasantly clutching his essay. The teacher began, rubbing out the sleep from her eyes. Martin, sweetie? Yes, Miss Frackle. Totally ignoring the unnecessary language and graphic violence, are you insisting that your grandmother killed you? Absolutely. Mrs. Frackle groaned. Okay, and if you died, how did you come back to life, hun? There was an awkward pause that seemed to go on for an eternity before Martin finally squeaked out. I got better? Martin, I'm gonna give you a C, but please try and do better next time. Martin jumped into the air, freeze-framing. Yeah, didn't fail. Ba-dum-bum, the end.
Yeah, that was great, man. I loved it. I was curious about like how different the stories would be like at first. Like I think that was my first instinct, is to be like, ooh, I wonder how different our prompts are gonna. And then I realized like some of the fun is like figuring out how like we have the same impression in certain regards. Like we both did kid stories.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's something I just revealed about my story. And our grandmothers are sassy. But mine is, I'm sorry to tell you, is a toilet bowl compared to yours. So whenever you're ready, I can read it.
Well, I can't wait to get to this toilet bowl of a story, but first, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey, Archie, are we going to start this or what? Are they still out there? What the hell are you talking about, Arch? Are they still out there? Arch, Buddy, friend, it's just you and me in here. Come on, relax. The people need your ads. They love your ads. Just, here, take a deep breath, and let's get started. Oh, okay, I can do this. Thanks, Jim. I couldn't do this without you. Sure thing. So, do you think you're ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Here we go. Hello, my name is Archibald Dirigible Dunlap, and I have a question for you lovely folks out there. Do you love donuts? Me too. There's nothing I love more than those soft, pillowy mounds of goodness. Well, maybe there's one thing, one little itty-bitty thing. I love how angry I've made you, those who side with the birds, those who think those fucking avians can be our friends. How dare you? You know my father, Constable Dirigible Dunlap, was killed by hawks, don't you? They swooped him into the air and dropped him like a sack of shit. I watched him die that day, and I swore to never, ever respect those flying fucks. I declared war that day, and right now, I'm getting my guns and my bags of rice ready. Forget donuts, forget mufflers, forget your petty dealings with the mafia. My war with these damn birds should be the only thing on your puny minds. This is Archibald Dirigible Dolores Dunlap the 23rd, signing off. All right, James.
Yes.
I hear you have a garbage dump of a story to read for us, and I, for one, am hungry, so let's read it.
Great. I hope you brought your bibs. Okay. Mine, the title of mine, because I gave mine a title as well, is called "Bring Me the Head of the Krispy Kreme Baker."
Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
All right, so I'll try to think. You know what? I wasn't going to do a character voice at first, but now that I heard Martin, I'll do a character voice as well. I think. So let me just give it a thought here. All right, I think I got it.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. We haven't met before. My name's Calvin Dangle.
Hi, Calvin.
Go on, say it. I know you're thinking it. You might as well say it.
Oh, Calvin, like the comics. Okay, I get why people would make fun of you for that name.
Well, no, you were going to say, so which way does it dangle?
Oh, I don't get that joke. I don't know what sex is.
I hear that a lot. And
wait, you hear that people don't know what sex is?
No. Listen! You're listening to me?
I'm trying.
I said my name is Calvin Dangle.
Oh, hey. How does it dangle?
Very good, thank you. No. All right. How dare you? All right. So going on with what I was going to say. I hear that a lot. That joke, by the way, and it never gets old. Just like my response never gets old. An ass pounding to the unoriginal comedian yucking it up with his friends. Once that's out of the way, it's usually a whole other school year before I have to hear that joke again. But you seem like an okay person, so I'll let this one slide.
Well, thank you, Calvin. I do appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome. You got a pretty mouth. And, besides, I think you get the point.
Ooh, boy, it's getting a little steamy in here, Calvin. Heard you had a story for us?
Yeah. The 10th grade can be an unforgiving bitch. And I'm only 5'5", but I get respect. Something to understand here is that high school is a lot like prison. First day, you take down the biggest bully, and it sends a message to the rest. The right message, that is. Back the fuck up, people!
Oh my god, Calvin's a badass.
Oh, it gets better. Today is Tuesday, and the only thing special about Tuesday is that the cafeteria is serving pizza today. Right, not very special. I slither out of my bed because last night was a blur of Pixie Sticks, Mountain Dew, and playing Splatoon. My brain is fuzzy and frayed with my favorite refined... My brain is fuzzy and frayed with my favorite refined cherry-powdered habit. Shit's gonna kill me if I'm not careful. Lucky for me, I have a reserve of baked deliciousness stashed under my bed. My CIA buddy, Stank, not his real name, at the local Krispy Kreme, has been passing along a still-in-development experimental donut meant to heighten mental acuity with minimal side effects, none of which I've been privy to so far. Oh, I forgot to mention, I've been freelancing for the CIA since the 8th grade.
Oh.
Yes.
That seems like a thing that you wouldn't forget, Calvin.
Well, I've been doing it a long time, it's from the 8th to the 10th grade. That's a really long time. It's a good portion of my life so far.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry. Please continue. I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
It's all right. So look, something you need to know is those federal physical fitness tests are not as mundane as they appear to be. It's how they found me and recruited me. Hangover or not, I was likely going to need one of these bad boys. Today was the day of my science midterm, and I fucking sucked at science. The one thing still holding me back at the CIA are my grades in biology. Which is absurd, really. I know a lot about biology. Like, my friend Badger, not his real name, told me that if you don't have a condom but still want to have sex with a girl, do it standing up, and she can't get pregnant.
Jesus, Calvin, that's dangerous.
No, and I also know that if you get a boner in altitudes above 12,000 feet, that you could die, like, instantly.
I think, Calvin, can I cut in real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
I think you need to talk to Badger.
Okay.
Because he's giving you misinformation, very dangerous information, I might add.
Well, look, he's been a CI of mine for a while, and he's given me a lot of good information that has led to many arrests, and I don't think you know him like that. Anyway, so with info gems like that, with info gems like that, and Badger on my side, I can't go wrong. I drop to the floor, which comes as second nature with the condition that I'm in. I fumble around my bed, grasping for what only looks to be your everyday collection of hardcore, gay, straight, BDSM, plushy, furry, fisting, gonzo, shisa, water sports, race play, taboo, foot fetish, nose fetish, fart worship, cock humiliation, and geriatric pornography that is in no way different from any other 15-year-old's porn collection.
I mean, it's no different from mine.
Yeah. You might think it's weird, but hear me out on this. Everybody gets their porn on the internet, and that person outside of Gen Xers and above... I'm sorry, I get a little emotional talking about my porn. Hold on.
No, dude, I get it. Take as long as you need.
I'm gonna go back for a second here, because everybody gets their porn on the internet. That, and, outside of a Gen Xer and above, keeps physical DVDs of porn. First, I can't afford to give a CIA-commissioned laptop an internet STD. And secondly, if anything goes wrong, I can't use the laptop. How am I going to get off? Think about it!
I don't want to.
I'll give you a second. You can think about it. Anyways, so this box looks so normal in every way, but in reality, it's rigged with an empty false bottom that contains it's empty. It's fucking empty! Who would do this? Who would have any idea that I keep my highly top secret experimental mind altering donuts in a false bottom of my porn crate? Who? Something else is here among the stale sprinkles and crumbs. A hair. A gray hair. Grandma. That cunt. She stabbed me in the back. Plus, she's the only person who knew where my crate was. Why is that weird to you? Just because she's 68 years old doesn't mean her shit is broke. Besides, who do you think got me all this porn in the first place? The CIA? I don't mess with the porn they got. I've been living with my grandma since the 9th grade. The lost. I wrote the lost my parents. I lost my parents.
The lost to my parents.
I lost my parents in an undercover operation over in Monte Carlo, which is just 7 miles south of our home in West Milford, New Jersey. Why am I telling you this? You know where Monte Carlo is.
Absolutely.
Everybody does.
Absolutely.
So I was at a high stakes POG revival competition where I was to lure a black market garbage pail kid's card dealer who had his fingers in a lot of powerful people's pies. Though he had a normal birth name, most people in our circle just call him Kevin. I had Kevin right where I wanted him. About to lose a shit ton of pogs when I signaled my evac. My evac team to start the car for an easy exit. That evac team? My parents. I'm not proud having dragged them into the world of real-life death spy games, but I had no other way of getting to the tournament. I'm 14 years old at the time, and the CIA, to put it in their words, says, we're not giving a 14-year-old agent a driver's license and an Aston Martin, no matter how cool he is.
And you're fucking cool.
Here, don't forget your handgun.
Wait a second. They didn't give you a car, but they gave you a gun?
Of course, duh. Anyway.
You're right. What am I thinking? Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Like, take down the bad guys with some bubble gum? Duh. Anyway, it turns out someone tipped off Kevin that I worked for the CIA and had the car rigged with C4. My parents never felt a thing. And I'm sorry for that. And I'm sure I'll carry that guilt with me for a long time. Well into my 20s, at least. Here, I was now facing another major life event I thought I would never have to confront. My grandmother has stolen my donut. She has been compromised, but who is she working for? What's the end game here? Who the fuck knows? What I do know is that it's time. Time to kick Grandma's ladyballs in. I find the energy to snap out of my funk, to speed out of my room and down the first flight of stairs to the second floor hallway. Grandma's bedroom was the one at the end of the hall with a door painted to look like an Andy Warhol soup can. Whoever the fuck that guy is. I summoned a bit more energy and sprinted down the hallway with a fury. 2 feet ahead of her door, I leap, executing a perfect flying sidekick. The door explodes into splinters. I may have exerted a little too much force, but I didn't have time to give a shit about the collateral damage of her expensive soup can door. There she was, still asleep in bed, like I buy that she'd sleep through her door exploding into a million splinters that are now raining down the entire room. Which was dangerous, mind you. I had forgotten to put my slippers on before bursting into action. So here I was, barefoot, in need of foot protection, and I needed of bringing... Okay, great. I'm a fucking moron. And I needed to bring my grandma some breakfast in bed in the form of a knuckle sandwich.
Oh, God.
I clamped down my jaw and gritted my teeth. Calvin, this is what the CIA trained you for. You get over there and beat up this old lady.
Did they teach you that in the CIA?
Yeah, they teach you lots of things. You don't want to know all of it.
You're right, I don't.
And I muttered this to myself, And literally time stopped. Everything seemed to move in slow motion. After the first 3 splinters, I couldn't feel the pain anymore. I could only feel the wet underneath my feet as I charged across the room. My body ached as I was beginning to shake. The final come down from the pixie stick bender. I'm getting too old for this shit. I leap into the air, legs tucked behind me, my fists cocked back. I must have been a sight to behold in that moment. I landed directly over her body, my knees missing her, as she springs awake with faux shock written across her face. Where is? Who's there? Oh wait, never mind. I skipped the line. Damn exuberance! Okay. Where is it? I screamed and trying to deepen my voice. She squeaks out, what? Don't lie to me, you treacherous bitch. Where's that donut? Donut? Where is it? What? Say what? One more time. Say it, and I deliver a 6-inch knuckle sandwich to your stupid face. Just then, I felt something under the covers jet out and jam me right in the dick. Click. The familiar sound of a handgun hammer being cocked. 6 inches of your dick might be in jeopardy if you don't change your tone, Sonny. She had me dead to rights, and knew all too well that even though I was 5'5", that her grandson was packing some meat. A 7-inch, when flaccid, piece of meat. Coke bottle thick donger.
Jesus Christ, Calvin.
She might be old, but I didn't trust her to miss such an easy target. I uncocked my fist and dropped my arms to my side. Careful now, she said smugly. Back yourself up over to the dresser. I did as she asked, but couldn't keep my trap shut. Who got to you? Who got you to betray your own grandson? I'd love to play guessing games with you all morning long, sport, but I haven't the slightest idea of what you're talking about, she said as she kept the gun fixed on its cock target with one hand and with the other slipped her left and the larger of her two breasts back inside her barely there sheer nightie. Gross. Could it be possible? Could she be telling the truth? I honestly couldn't see why she would fuck me over. We have always been so close. Has anyone been over to the house in the past few days? I said, relaxing my posture, thus signaling her that I was no longer a threat. She reciprocated by lowering the gun. Just a few gentlemen callers. Finally putting on her overstretched yoga pants as she insisted was the secret to her successful love life. My grandmother might be overweight and riddled with varicose veins, but she was still damn sexy.
Whoa, Calvin.
But that was all useless to me. She was my grandma, after all. And if the CIA taught me one thing, it's that you can beat the tar out of your grandmother, but you should never, ever fuck her. Anyone...
I mean, that's good advice, I guess.
Yeah. Anyone else come over looking to speak to me while I wasn't here? I said, snapping out of my thoughts. You know what? There was one. Who? Your friend, Stank, from the donut place. Said he needed to leave you something important up in your room. That trans fat peddling punk, I exclaimed, pounding my fist against the dresser. Hold on. What's going on? What is all this about, Calvin? She inquired as she slipped her custom-made double F bra underneath her nightie, careful not to cross any lines with me in the room. Put on something less revealing. Cutting me off, she asked, Where are we going? Grab your keys, Grammy. We're gonna fry someone's dough balls. We finally arrived at the one of 20 Krispy Kremes West Milford has in a 2-mile radius. Trust me, this town loves its donuts. Having filled my grandma in on the details of Stank and how he and I are connected, she was ready to hear how this was going to go down. You need to understand Grams could take care of herself. If nothing else, her having a gun at the ready under the covers should have given you some indication that she knows her way around some, tough situations.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. For now, though, all she needed to do was stay in the car with it running, just in case Stank tries to make a getaway. I exited the car, paused for a moment to relax my shoulders and get into the mindset that I wasn't about to actually cut off the head of this lowlife Krispy Kreme baker. The door chimed as I entered, and all eyes turned on me. The smell of Krispy Kreme's sweet, delicious original glazed wafted through the air. Stank saw me from behind the counter. He's sweaty and nervous looking, but I give him no indication of what is about to come. Fuck. Those donuts smell good. Too good. Intoxicating, even. So delicious. Then all went black. Then I woke up. Stank was pacing around the room, worried. He should be. I'm a highly trained 15-year-old CIA operative with deadly combat skills and stuff. I may be tied to a chair, but he knows that won't hold me for long. I need to point out that this chair I was tied to was a very comfortable ergonomic computer chair, likely belonging to a store manager. Gotta admire the care Krispy Kreme puts towards their employees. We were clearly in the killing floor of the Krispy Kreme. The place reeked of semen, blood, and sugar. I was privy to seeing how the proverbial sausage donut was made. So, you would think with the amount of whale vagina it takes to make their donuts, one would be put off from eating them. But damn, they're too fucking delicious to ever quit. So look, Stank, how about you untie me? Tell me where the donut is and I won't shit on your corpse when I'm done with you, I said with a smirk. Fuck, man. They said that you would never know, that the old lady would get ghosted. That you and me would still be tight and shit. Well, they fucking lied. Oh, man. This is bad. This is bad! Calm down. It isn't too late to repair the damage. Really? He said, choking on his words a bit. Really? Let's start with how my grandma's hair got into the box, I said while slowly loosening the rope, keeping my hand tied to the arm of the chair. Her pubes? After we fucked, she took a nap. I pulled some pubes off the condom and placed them in the box. I figured you'd know immediately the hair belonged to her. He was right. Grammy's pubic hair was uniquely coarse, flecked with bits of black pigment, and always smelled of the faintest jasmine. His employers were well aware of this fact. So tell me, Stank, who put you up to this? What could make you turn on your own agent? One that's been through everything with you for 2 years. 1 year and 7 months, give or take. His eyes dotted around the room. He came in closer to fate. Oh. I didn't really write very good there either. He came in closer to my face as he was worried the walls may be listening. In my experience, they usually were, but that wouldn't matter in Stank's case. He'd be dead soon. Had to be. Justice demanded it. He came in close, his breath hot and thick with maple glaze. They knew about my habit, and they used it against me. I'm sorry, Kelvin. I'm weak and needed another hit. Lincoln's breath is rare and hard to come by. His voice faltered with shame. This wasn't the name of some new street drug. He was literally talking about Lincoln's preserved breath that exists in very limited run. You see, 20 years ago when Lincoln's mummified corpse was being toured around all 50 states, someone unsealed the sarcophagus and extracted Lincoln's breath with the intention of synthesizing its well-documented psychotropic effects. It failed to be replicated, but it turned out that the breath itself was still effective. So it was broken up into smaller vials and sold off. It's said once you do Lincoln's breath, it's hard to go back to a regular life. Stank, that poor grandma fucker, had it bad. I could barely maintain the bloodlust I once had for killing him. God, Stank. I didn't know. No one does. I'm sorry. I needed it. Who was it? Who compromised you? The Russians. He said, dropping the tone to something sadder. What Russians? Stank picked up a patented Krispy Kreme killing floor knife and slowly shuffled towards me. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to terminate you, Calvin. What Russians? I repeated. The Russian Student Coalition. At your school. When their debate club was busted for conventional doping, they needed to find a new way to win. They must have gotten wind of the experimental donut, and they knew about my addiction. They knew about my armadillo! You can do it now. Thank you for understanding, he said as he let out a smile. I wasn't talking to you. Bang!
Oh no!
Stank's frontal lobe casing fractures open and paints the donut conveyor belt with blood. Grandma steps out from the shadows, holsters her gun in the elastic waistband of her yoga pants, and begins to untie me. You must be wondering what happened next. But I'm sorry, that's as much as I can tell you right now. The rest is so highly classified, the president can't even know about it, that stupid fuck. Or maybe I don't give a shit about that anymore. Maybe someday I'll tell you the rest of this balls-to-the-wall 15-year-old CIA agent's adventures. Until then, fuck off. So, that was crazy. Sorry about it. There was a lot of sexual innuendo having to do with a 15-year-old and his grandma.
That might be the most sexualized story we had on here.
You're welcome.
Hey, it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I was like in a serious mood that day about. It wasn't like a sexual mood per se. It was more like a I was in the mood to make people pay for something. I don't know. That was my way of like torturing everybody. I was just in a mood. I don't know what it was.
Well, you tortured us with laughter.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Did you like it?
I did. Although I do think I'm gonna have to put that warning before this episode.
I told you about the warning.
I know, but I was like, he's just messing around. He's just being good old James.
Good old James. No, I was being good old James. I wrote the story, and this is a part of me. What's really funny is I have this really super, pretty clean show that I'm doing, and I guess, I don't know, maybe it was just me exercising some of the demons out or something. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? We all have to do it at some point.
So yeah, I don't know. I found it funny, and actually, I found a lot of inspiration in Mark Lanier's work. Do you know who Mark Lanier is?
I'm not familiar.
Check out Et tu, Babe, if you like reading books. I don't know how much of a voracious reader you are, but I'm a terrible reader, so I don't read that often. And when I do it right. Mark Lanier is a satirist, and he uses a lot of like faux autobiographical stories. And the first one I ever read of his was very similar in the way that it had to do something with Lincoln's breath, and so I stole that part. And it was a drug in that story, but it's like he writes himself as like some supermodel that's like super cut, and his wife's a supermodel, and he's none of these things, and he's super rich, and he's really only an author, and
That's awesome. And
so like he's just like he's this top secret model agent. Writer, badass, and everything he does is amazing. So I kind of took that context and I was like, okay, well, let's apply it to a 15-year-old whose grandmother just stole their donut, and I was like, well, then the donut needs to be special too. It just it kind of grew from there, and I was, like I said, I was in a mood, so. Well, so I'm gonna officially apologize now to anybody who I may have wrecked their impression of me, that I'm a really nice person, I'm a good person, and I don't always write like this, and I don't even always think things like this.
If you have a complaint, you can email James at jamesisahorriblehumanbeing@gmail.com.
Or just go ahead and make the site. If you you can start your own hate Tumblr page or something. I don't know.
Yes.
But listen, you can always contact me directly. You can find me on any of the social media sites, and you can approach me, and I'll apologize personally about my behavior.
You've been a bad boy.
I have been a bad boy. So, but yeah, no, I had a blast doing this. I was so happy that you invited me, and I felt really super worried. I didn't undershoot on this, did I? I got to the point in this where I was like, I need to stop writing because I have a feeling A, I might go on so long, and B, I literally wrote it before we talked 2 weeks ago. So, yeah. I did not really do, as you could tell, any rewrites.
It was great. It was really great.
So I had a lot of mistakes in here. Granted, some of them I didn't let you know about. Some of them I was like, oh, I know what that should be, and I said it the way it should be.
It's okay. I did the same thing to you.
Good. Serves me right.
Well, James, I had a blast with you, and if people want to find you out there on the interwebs, as the kids call it these days, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me. I think James will leave us 76 on podcast on Twitter, and also for my show, it's What the Frequency Pod, and then What the Frequency Podcast on Tumblr, and they can always visit whatthefrequency.com. Or not it's WT Frequency. So yeah, WT Frequency Pod for Twitter, WTFrequency.com for the actual website. And I don't know, I fucked this all up, so.
And when does What the Frequency starts? Because I think this is going to come out a little earlier.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is perfect timing. It's going to come out September 20th. Okay. 2017.
Okay, yeah, it'll be out well before then. So check that out when it comes out, and of course I'm going to put all of the links on how to reach James and myself in the show notes below. You can also check out my other show, Sable. It's horror though, so if you came here for the laughs and think that my other show is funny, you're in for a bad surprise.
Well, this one was pretty horrifying, so I think they got it.
Yeah, both of our stories were pretty horrifying.
Yeah, yours had a little horror. Mine was just horrifying in subject matter. So
yeah, true.
I'm really sorry, everybody. I really am. But I had to read it because Lane made me, and
that's okay. Yeah. Just blame me. That's what everybody else does.
Well, then I won't do it. Okay, I don't do what I'm told, Lane.
Yeah, you fucking hipster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this week's episode of Impromptu Fiction with Lane and friends. I've been Lane,
and I've been friend James.
I've been friend James.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave you with a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.